This is Al Alborn, PotomacLocal.com, interviewing 51st District Delegate Richard Anderson from right here in the Capitol. Delegate Anderson, I understand you enjoyed a legislative success today. Would you care to tell us about it?
Sure thing, Al. I think I did at least. Today the full House passed what is designated as House Bill 1907, which was a bill to ban driving while texting. As you know, that's been a big problem for many years here in Virginia. This finally lays down somewhat of what we would in the military would call rules of engagement on the use of cell phone technology while driving. It does not prohibit talking on your telephone, but what it does is it does prohibit texting while driving. And by that I mean the entering of multiple letters and numbers from the keyboard of your cell phone. Specifically, what the House bill does is very, very straightforward. Number one, it takes the offense and moves it from a secondary offense to a primary offense, which means that an officer, if he or she sees you texting while driving, they can stop you and cite you. Whereas before, as a secondary offense, it required the officer to observe some other infraction, such as a taillight out, running a red light or a stop sign, speeding, or some other infraction. Now, officers are empowered to stop the car immediately and to issue a citation. So, secondary to primary. Number two, it increases the penalties as a deterrent to unlawfully texting while driving. And what that consists of is a $250 fine for the first offense and $500 for each offense thereafter. The present, under current code, penalty is $20 for the first offense and $50 for each offense thereafter. So we think that this will be a deterrent to this very unsafe activity, which takes a person behind the wheel and renders them as incapable as someone who's heavily intoxicated by alcohol. And that offense is simply a driving offense and not reckless driving. However, if the individual is doing reckless driving in conjunction with texting, then the minimum fine must be $500. So I think it's a pretty good bill. A number of people have tried to move this through in previous years. It hasn't been successful in making it through the legislature for whatever reason, but it's especially timely and applicable to us in eastern Prince William County, because the first people to come to me with a concern about this problem and a need for legislation were two sisters that live in Lake Ridge who came to me to tell me their family story, which was in April of this year, their brother was killed by a texting driver, and standing with their brother who was killed was a Virginia State policeman who has been permanently disabled and medically retired from the Virginia State Police. So it's a bill that's needed. If there are any additional tweaks that we need to do it in the later years, that's exactly what we'll do. But for now, I think the legislative process worked, and it passed out of the House today almost unanimously. It's en route down the hall here in the Virginia State Capitol to the Senate, where they'll take action sometime in the next several days.
Well, thank you, Delegate Anderson. I'm sure your constituents in the 51st District appreciate your efforts on this bill.
Yep.
Al Alborn, Potomac Local, signing out.